This is what a 1-inch diameter difference looks like. If you know me, you know I'm dying to make a dirty joke right now, but I'm not going to because making horsepower is serious business. As you guys saw in our dyno video, we made a bunch more power going to a 3.5-inch diameter intake that Sasha loaned us versus our 3-inch intake tube. So we figured if 3.5 inches is better than 3, then 4 is even better. So we've gone to Spectre Performance, who make a bunch of cool intake parts that pretty much let you make your own custom intake setup. This is a 4-inch diameter tube that's sort of accordion style. I think it stretches out to 3 or 4 feet if you need that much length. Their air filters are pretty cool too. I like the fact that they include these adapters that let you fit different diameter tube in it. So we can fit the 4-inch in here. You can fit a 3 or a 3.5 as well. They've also got, reducer couplers that you need. And they've got these nice heavy duty joiners to join these 4-inch sections together. Got everything we need. I think it's time for PT to show up in this video.
This should be a pretty straightforward install. We have about 3.5 feet of this Spectre tubing, which opens up really nicely actually.
It does, yeah.
What we're not sure though is we've got a long route to get to our original fender location where we had the intake. We kind of want to retain that. So what I'm going to do is start plumbing this, seeing how far we can get it, and if it's not to there, I'm going to end up using the original AAM intake here and chopping it down to where kind of we need to, because the problem we have right now is the easy thing to do would be just to slide it over to this and kind of have our intake set up. However, this reduced radius piping actually goes down further into the tube here, which means we're gonna have to chop it a little bit further. But again, this should be pretty easy. So let's get started and see how I make out here.
Pete's discovered a new technique for putting a tube in a tight space.
I know, right?
The old screwdriver twist technique.
The twist and turn. All right, holy smokes. Yeah, it's tight in here. That's no lie, but we've got it down to where it needs to go, and I'm thinking of cutting the intake pipe right around here just because it'll reduce. I'm not sure where the reduction is. I can see a well down around this area, so I can only assume that's where the smaller diameter goes to. So we'll cut it here. It's actually going to be a little bit less weight too, and to me it'll give you a cleaner look, right?
Yeah. Well,
nobody likes to see two pipes coming together. This way it'll be all under there, and
we're not that kind of YouTube channel.
That's right. Oh man, see, this is what happens to me. This is my life. I always get 98% there. There we go. All right. Well, we've solved the problem of reducer.
Oh yeah, look at that.
There you go.
Design.
Kind of neat to see how AAM does it.
Yeah.
That is very, very neat actually. It's a dual chamber intake. I think that's what this is called.
Exactly what that is called, yeah.
So yeah, now we've got a nice 4-inch piece of piping that we can connect to our Spectre tubing. Now, whenever you're cutting tubing, I don't know if I have to tell you this because it seems kind of obvious, but you want to make sure everything's nice and smooth and clean, especially on the intake. So I just got to blow all of the metal chunks out of this thing, and yeah, we'll be ready to put it on. I really do like using this old AAM intake here simply because it kind of has a hard mount, so it'll stabilize and lock in the intake to the way I want it rather than just having to take that flimsy tubing and running in. And I think in most applications it would be fine, but because we're trying to put a filter out in this area here in the fender well, it would be much more difficult. So
yeah, it's going to support the weight of the filter really well.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It's a nice secure way to
this
join
is the
two.
better way to go.
Yeah, I agree.
But mounting it up, well, I'll be the first to admit, not that easy here.
Tight space under there, huh?
Yeah, well, we've got all the plastic in here, so that really makes it a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
But I'll get there.
As you can see, Pete's joined the Spectre tube to the lower part of the AEM tube. Good to go down there. And over here, Pete is tightening down the coupler.
There we go.
Airbox.
I think we may have a bit of an issue with hood clearance, so it's gonna push down on this a little bit, but there's nothing we can really do at this point. 4 inches is what we want, so 4 inches is what we get. And the moment of truth is, oh, I can see it, it's tight.
Uh-oh.
Not close, just needs a bit of a push. And actually, we've cut a bit of that hood out, so it looks like we're good.
All right. But wait, there's even more. Clearancing the hood a little, folks.
Everything's too cold. The damn power tools don't want to work. You gotta love it.
Take two. A piece for an eBay auction, PT.
We should sign this. So that about wraps this up, doesn't it, DP?
I guess so, yeah. I don't know if we'll make it to the dyno or if we're just going to go rip some VTEC, but before we do that, we'll show you the air filter location down here in the typical cold air location. So we'll draw in some nice cold air. Maybe we'll go set some new track records at TMP with this bad boy now, or what?
That's the hope. We still have a couple months left with the cold, but after that, it is time to go rip some serious VTEC.
I guess I shouldn't record while I have a Reese's Pieces cup in my mouth, huh?
Well, just don't say anything, but
So delicious.
all right.
I'm gonna be like Moose. You'll hear me eating in the background.
Yeah.
Darth Moose.